The New Orleans Saints are standing on the edge of something that could either be the start of a comeback story or the beginning of another long season of questions. Nobody expected the team to flip its entire energy this fast, but with a new coaching voice in Kellen Moore and a locker room buzzing with change, the atmosphere in New Orleans feels charged. The fans see gold jerseys back on the field, the players feel the momentum from a culture reset, and the city is bracing for a Week 1 matchup that already feels like a test of identity. But the twist is, for all the hype, there are cracks showing before a single snap is played. The most fascinating part of this story is how quickly the offense has become the face of the franchise again. New names and familiar stars like Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Alvin Kamara give the Saints real firepower, but depth questions already linger. When your tight end room is thin, when your offensive line health is shaky, and when the weight of your attack rests on a few shoulders, the excitement can turn into worry in an instant. The shocking part is that this roster looks built to explode with highlights, yet the margin for error is razor thin. If one or two key players miss time, the entire balance of the offense changes overnight. And this brings us to the biggest question sitting in the middle of it all, the one that could define the season: the quarterback position. Spencer Rattler has been given control of the huddle, but how much can he really carry? That story is where the spotlight turns next, because everything the Saints want to build hinges on whether their new starter can turn potential into results. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Saints and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The New Orleans Saints promise speed, space, and quick strikes, and the buzz is real. The plan hints at motion that moves defenders, alignments that open grass, and timing that turns short throws into long gains. It feels like a new rhythm for this city, not loud talk, real intent. The surprise is how many ways this group can attack without showing the same picture twice, and that is what pulls defenses into mistakes. Chris Olave threatens every blade of grass, Rashid Shaheed stretches safeties wide, and Alvin Kamara punishes hesitation with cuts that flip the field. Juwan Johnson gives the middle a big target, a safety valve that can also hurt you down the seam. Up front, Eric McCoy sets the pulse, calling out threats so the line can pass off games and keep the pocket clean. When formation shifts force Arizona to reveal coverage, the ball should find the soft spot fast, not later. But all that design needs a steady trigger, and this is where the story tightens. The routes are layered, the answers are built in, the windows will flash and close in a heartbeat. Spencer Rattler has the controls now, and the next step is simple to say and hard to do. Turn that structure into points when the heat arrives. Arizona brings a tricky mix that fools eyes and scrambles plans. Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis love to show one picture and deliver another, with safeties rotating late, slot pressure flashing from the edge, and stunts that cross up rules. The hidden question is simple. Can the New Orleans Saints see the same thing at the same time before the ball is snapped and still speak the same language once it is live? If that answer is yes, the rush looks a lot less scary. If it is no, drives stall fast. This is where clear jobs matter. Eric McCoy sets the protection point, Spencer Rattler owns alerts and hot answers, and the receivers snap into sight lines that punish the space a blitzer leaves behind. Backs and tight ends can help first and release second if the count demands it. Quick rhythm throws through the middle, keep the chains moving while the defense chases ghosts. Coaches Doug Nussmeier and Scott Tolzien drill the same call words day after day so the entire group reacts as one. There is also a smart backup plan for the edges. If Trevor Penning cannot go, Dylan Redund steps in and the protection slides adjust, not the standard. The test is not about fancy plays, it is about clarity under stress and speed of decision when the picture changes at the last second. Now the focus tightens on the starter who must turn that clarity into points when the rush closes, and whether he can do it when the moment is loud. The New Orleans Saints just placed the season in Spencer Rattler's hands, and the city can feel the weight of that choice. He won the job in a real battle, and now the cameras turn to what he does when the pocket tightens and the clock bites. The twist is that this story is not about one throw or one drive. It is about steady steps that turn talent into trust while the noise of game week keeps getting louder. Growth here has simple markers that are hard to master. Win third and medium with fast eyes and calm feet. Own the red zone by taking the easy money before chasing the hero shot. Protect the ball when pressure arrives and turn sacks into smart throwaways. Use cadence to control rushers and keep the plan on schedule. Build timing with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed so windows feel like muscle memory. Lean on Alvin Kamara as the outlet that keeps chains alive when a blitz leaves grass uncovered. Tyler Shuck develops in the background, which keeps the room steady and the focus clean. That means no sideline drama, only weekly proof that the starter is growing into the role the team needs. If Rattler stacks those quiet wins, the offense breathes and the stadium follows. If not, the defense must carry more than expected, and that raises the next hard question. Can the front create the heat that changes a game before the ball leaves the quarterback's hand? The New Orleans Saints need real heat off the edge, and the timing could not be trickier. Chase Young's calf put his status in doubt, which turns one simple truth into the headline: pressure without finishes will not cut it against a mobile quarterback. Last season brought plenty of near wins at the point of attack, but too many escapes turned would be losses into big plays. This game asks for something different: close the space, wrap, and end the snap. If Young is limited, the plan shifts to volume and discipline. Carl Granderson and Cam Jordan carry the early load, Chris Rumpf brings burst, and Fadil Diggs adds fresh legs when the pace spikes. Inside, Brian Bresee can collapse the pocket and force hurried throws. Rotations matter because tired hands slip at the moment of contact. Fresh bodies turn fingertips into tackles. The goal is simple: trade almost for finished, and do it again on the next series. All of that leads to the real problem across the field. Kyler Murray punishes loose edges and late contain, and one misstep can flip field position in a heartbeat. How do you box in that kind of speed without showing your plan before the ball is snapped? The answer lives with assignment football and smart angles, and that is where the next layer of the defense steps in. The challenge with Kyler Murray is not just his speed, it is the chaos he creates when a play breaks. One false step from an edge rusher, one linebacker too deep in his drop, and he is already slicing through lanes. The Saints cannot show him where the opening will be. They must make him guess. That is the razor edge this defense walks, and it is what separates a close win from a long night. Brandon Staley's scheme builds guardrails for this kind of test. Edges line up wider, which forces Murray to choose between drifting deeper or running into help. Demario Davis and Pete Werner patrol the middle, ready to rally once he declares his path. Alontae Taylor, working back from his groin issue, is positioned to spy from the slot and keep eyes on the quarterback. Every layer is designed to squeeze the space a fraction tighter than Murray expects. Behind them, the secondary sets the trap. Julian Blackmon brings range that allows corners to play aggressive, while Justin Reed steadies the back end. Kool-Aid McKinstry locks onto top targets with size and confidence, and Isaac Yiadom's knack for breaking up throws gives the unit another punch. The Saints know they cannot erase Kyler completely, but if they can turn his scrambles into short gains instead of highlight runs, they tilt the game back toward their favor. And that is where the hidden factors outside of offense and defense start to matter most. Games often swing on plays that never show up in highlight reels, and for the Saints, those hidden yards could be the difference. A single kick return that tilts field position or a coverage snap that pins Arizona deep can buy breathing room for both sides of the ball. That is why the role of specialists cannot be brushed aside. Every yard gained or prevented without the offense even touching the field stacks value that changes the math late in the game. Velus Jones Jr. takes over primary kick return duty, with Kendre Miller ready as the secondary option. Both bring speed and vision, which means the potential for a sudden burst that flips momentum in one run. Rashid Shaheed remains the lead punt returner, a role that keeps one of the fastest players on the roster in position to spark drives at any moment. These three together give New Orleans a chance to win the field position battle before a single pass is thrown. Now it comes down to you. How confident are you in the Saints' pass rush if Chase Young is on a snap count? Who do you believe will lead the team in touchdowns this year? Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, or Devon Vele? And on a scale of 1 to 100, where does your confidence sit heading into Week 1? Drop your answers in the comments, stay connected with the channel, and subscribe for every update, breakdown, and game day reaction. This season is about to reveal what the New Orleans Saints really are, and you will not want to miss a single moment.